Let's think about challenges facing future entrepreneurs. Whether you're starting now, you have just started, you're aspiring to start, you plan to inherit business from your parents. There's low access to capital. Many of us struggle with this. That I am starting a business, I can't get a loan, nobody knows me. Suppliers don't trust me, they don't know me as yet. So there's low level of capital. But this is worsened by something else, my good friends. A poor savings culture. I have discussed this a lot when you're looking at personal financial management. Many of us do not have a saving culture. We start a business and we sometimes wish we had started saving years ago. Many of us, so some of us, have parents running business, but we are hardly involved. One of the sessions I like training a lot is about family business management, and I invite you if you've been interested. We can look at that again. There is sometimes a challenge of business opportunities because many of us want to do the same thing that others have done. Because somebody has started an M-Pesa shop and is succeeding, we want to start one. There is stiff competition. You wake up one day, you start a business, you thought you're the only one. Next, you find others are already there. And I don't know whether you agree with this. There is a lot of pressure to succeed. Okay? Pressure to succeed. Wanting to be billionaire by day one after college or within the first year. Pressure to succeed, my good friends. Some of the things challenging us. Where do we get startup capital? Remember, this is introductory business finance for future entrepreneurs. Okay? And we can think about various areas. Personal savings. Right? One of the good things about personal savings is there is no pressure to pay back. Right? Unfortunately, it's usually scarce. Family and friends. Sometimes the best person to lean on are family and friends in a startup. Looking at capital from people who will not necessarily ask it back. Support from each other. Group lending, chamas and so on. Government funds sometimes targeting different categories of people, youth, women, people with disabilities. Borrowing, okay, usually a challenge to get on day one, because when you're borrowing, you need to have demonstrated your ability to run a business. And finally, equity. You're talking about inviting others to bring in capital and join you. Very rarely used by our people. And especially when the business grows up to a certain point. Many times it becomes beyond our abilities. Soon we shall be talking about equity in one of the sessions I'll be doing in this quarter. I will strongly advise you to come so that we can discuss a little bit deeply, because I notice many of us struggle to, or they don't invite others in our business. For all this to work, my good friends, I would encourage you to think about improving your business acumen. So you want to be a publisher. You feel strongly about it. It is a legacy you want to leave in your family. As you want to build my family of publishers. Now you need to demonstrate ability, develop ability. Of course, doing it in ethical manner. It means having a holistic view of the business. Thinking in terms of the entire system. Not just one side. Some of us are excellent marketers. But it requires more than marketing to run a business. Some of us are excellent organizers. But it requires a lot more than just organizing. Whatever we do, we must be driven by understanding that we make a difference in the marketplace. That is why we exist. In that marketplace, there is competition. What is it that will make us tick and support it in all the systems? We want to have a general business acumen of strategic planning, finance, manufacturing, research, and so on and so forth. Think about your 5 fingers. in the hand. And each finger represents a function of business acumen skills. Don't forget it. You must have leadership, you must have marketing, you must have financial, you must have strategic, you must have analytical. It is the holistic view of the whole business. When you think about things, strongly recommended that you understand the business principles and language. Business principles and language are often best articulated by the language of finance, understanding profitability and its way. So when you want to develop these skills, don't shy away from stepping in a class or adding a skill to learn a little more about fundamentals of finance. Then you use this understanding to prioritize for actions and to increase performance and profitability of your business. Make no mistake about it. The language of business is the language of finance. Understand it. Use it to make decisions. So you want to reward your workers. Finance, performance. So you want to establish a new branch. Financial, focused. So you want to assess whether a branch is doing well, whether you should close it or not. Financial performance. So you want to know whether this business holistically is making sense. Finance, return on investment. So you think about keenness and depth of perception, especially in practical matters. What are the things that you do to get this level of financial results? The buying, the selling, the stocking, selling on credit, collection from customers, cash flow forecast, budgeting. Utilizing this economic, financial, organization data to make decisions. Avoid the situation where you make blind decisions, if you ask me. Build and document a business case for investing in workplace learning, in performance solutions. And that way you are in tune with the expectation of all the stakeholders, employees' expectation, customer expectation. The components of this requires a thorough insight into the organization, comprehensive understanding of the organization operations. That's why sometimes as an entrepreneur, don't shy away from the reality that you may find yourself being the investor, being the HR, being the finance director, being the management accountant, being everything. The security officer of the business. Not necessarily doing all of them, because it's very important to learn the art of delegation, but understanding what is happening in each one of them. Ability then to apply and interpret financial data. You might not be an accountant, I'm not asking you to be an accountant, but you ought not to be ignorant about accounting information. Because that way, unfortunately, those with accounting knowledge may take advantage of you. Having basic knowledge of this understanding. Okay? So what does it mean in terms of tax for us when revenues increase? Understand that. What is the effect of employing extra staff on the bottom line? Understand that. What is bottom line anyway? How do you arrive at it? The sales minus the cost of sales minus the operation costs, so that you make correct use of business terminology. Identify the priorities of the organization again, but above all, understanding the value creation. Where is the value created? And what are the things that we do to create that value? How do we measure that value? Financial data, net profit margin, okay? Sales per employee, right? Revenue per square foot. See? So notice the value of each. Revenue per square foot justifies rent. Sales per employee justifies employment of another person. net profit margin, efficiency of our operations. It's very, very important to advance the learning performance data of the organization. So gaining insight will require you to increase knowledge, to strategically plan, and put your business with a competitive position, knowing what your competitive advantage is. So let us look at each of these. Developing an understanding of business operation. Develop knowledge of the organization, structures, systems, functions, business processes. Don't be caught unawares on how things perform. Have you set up systems of operations, procedures, business procedures? If you were to be assessed, can you earn quality mark of success? Can you become ISO certified? Okay. Then be familiar with processes and decision-making channels. What does it take to acquire goods that are required for sale? What does it take to process goods to the satisfaction of the customer? What does it take to convince a supplier to be your friend? Get to know this information system. Understand how products and services are developed, sold, delivered to customers. Now applying and interpreting your financial data. Know the financial goals of the organization. What net profit margin are you targeting? And my good friends, it is good to be ambitious, but don't be over-ambitious. Okay? Business is not expecting manna dropping from heaven. So do not put too high standards that only strains you and the relationship with everybody else. I happen to be in the board of several companies. One of the reasons, owned by an Indian family. I am impressed with their expectation. By the way, a big company runs in billions, right? What is your financial goals? Sales goals, market share goals, production goals, performance of employees, and overall. Now understand the financial data and how it relates to business success measures. So how do you know that your business has improved or has suffered, let's say during COVID? Okay. The payment by customers has gone down. Sales may have remained, but payment has gone down. That requires you to do a cash flow projection. Cash flow projection showing you what you're receiving every month, what you're paying every month. And you track all of them together to see, is the payment in tandem with the receipts, so that you don't end up paying more than what you're receiving. And that way you can now start negotiating with confidence with the stakeholders. Hey, suppliers, thank you. You've done a good job, but there is COVID here and we are not receiving as much as we are doing. Kindly provide us with a space to pay a little longer than you have been doing before. And you have evidence to demonstrate that. Then ability to interpret your financial statement, balance sheet. What are your total assets? What is the growth in the assets? What are your total liabilities? What is the growth? What is the link between the assets and the liabilities? Okay? And how does your capital grow over time? Why don't you use graphs, tables to project these? And then at a glance, you can see how things are moving. We must have ability to perform quantitative calculations, including business case, preparing budgets. My good friends, every time I'm training this area, one thing comes out very clearly. A good number of us have the challenge of the culture and the discipline of budgeting.